So we're about to hop on a call with our mortgage broker.
Go to one of the addresses of the units that we like and pretend that we live there.
Now we're getting to the fun part, the actual house hunting part. It's time to start looking.
I like.
I think we're gonna get it.
Put in an offer this morning.
Oh, it's the next morning and I don't have good news.
We're in talks with a realtor now, and we've been in talks with a realtor for the last 4 weeks, which is crazy. We've been keeping an eye on units that have been popping up in the last 4 weeks. Right now in Vancouver, it's a seller's market, which means that inventory is really low and there's more people buying than there are selling. So we're seeing, and this has been going on for the last 10 years. There's just been crazy bidding wars. Places are going for way over asking. We're not interested in engaging in that because it's ridiculous. So we're basically keeping an eye on the market, and 3 units popped up in the last 2 weeks that we are going to see today, which is really exciting. And they're all going to be reno projects. None of them are new builds. None of them have been renoed recently. The insides are pretty dated. The buildings are a little older. They're not too old or they're just like falling apart, but they are older, which is a good thing because it means that they're huge, like 1,500 square feet and like around that area. Whereas the newer builds are like 1,000 square feet, 900 square feet for like 2-bed, 2-bath kind of thing. It's crazy. So that's the plan today. We're on our way.
It's just too low to the ground. I'm looking for view, I'm looking for light. And this place just doesn't have it. But it's good to like visit different places just to see what you like. Like this massive bathroom, I like.
It is the next day. We've been talking a lot about those units that we saw, and you'll notice that we went to see 3 and I only filmed 2. And that is because the last one was such a letdown. First of all, real estate agent wasn't super nice and it threw off the whole vibe. I just like walked into the place and I didn't immediately feel drawn to it. And not to mention, when we looked out the window, we went in the evening, so there's this beautiful sunset, and then I realized there's construction happening on the sunset side, which would basically block our entire sunset view. I did not feel like filming that place and taking content because I didn't even want to think about it again. Now the second place that we went to go see, the one that I said I didn't like, that one kind of came up last minute, and our real estate agent scheduled that one in because we were in the area anyway. I think she wants us to feel, and something that we've actually communicated to her is that it's quite a drive for us to go and see these units. So the more we can see, the better. Plus, I will say it does help us get a feel for what we like and what we don't like when we're able to walk through more of these units. Now the first unit that we liked, we actually like quite a bit. It is definitely a lot older, a fixer-upper for sure. The person who lived there basically moved in when the building was built and just never updated it one time. We are actually about to call our real estate agent and ask her to start the process of putting in an offer for the first place. And imagine how cute it would look. It's like 2-bed, 2-bath. It's got a massive living room, huge windows, a ton of potential. And we've been like doing some preliminary Pinterest boarding and really getting excited for what it could look like. I forgot to tell you who our real estate agent is, by the way. Her name is Corinne Donahoe, and like I mentioned before, she's got a background in law, so we really appreciate that dual perspective going into this, especially for the first time. And I can say that she's been super patient super forthcoming with information for us. And then our mortgage broker's name is Jonathan Buffon, I believe. There's an E at the end there. So those are the two people who've been helping us make this house dream happen from the start. Okay, we just got off the phone with Corinne. Here's what's happening. Because I'm like, okay. Now I'm gonna tell you. So what Corinne needs to do now is comparables, and she's gonna take a look at what other units in the neighborhood have sold for. And now this is where it gets interesting, because if it comes back that a lot of the units have sold for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 over, and obviously that's going to be her recommendation for us to make a competitive offer. And then at that point it's up to us to make a decision if we want to go with her recommendation or if we want to offer something else. And I know I discussed in my first video how the real estate market in Vancouver is very volatile. It's all over the place. And there was one area that we kind of are coming into drawing the line, and that is the overbidding, like the excessive overbidding. So we'll have to wait and see what the comparables show, but we can kind of already tell right now that if it's going to be something that's way over like that, it might not be the place for us. So we will see.
You have to be comfortable with what you're called, and if 800 is just something a number you don't want to go to, or even 775, then you don't do it, because in this market it's very competitive and you can easily get away with spending more and more and more, but you don't want to leverage every dollar you have.
Yeah. Like the more that you put down is going to be the less for the reno. And then say we put in the offer, then like they don't really negotiate or go back and forth with multiple people, right? They kind of pick whatever the offer is at the highest and then they move forward.
Some agents, just everybody gets one chance, and even if you beat that person by $20, then you win.
Right.
And you might be in a position where somebody just loves this place and is willing to spend 50 on it, and or 900. Like, you just can't compete with people like that.
Yeah.
You just don't have a chance if somebody wants to overpay. I will work on this for you guys, and then we will talk later.
Sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, bye.
Okay, bye guys.
So basically, when I moved to Vancouver from Squamish, I lived on the North Shore for like 6 years, going to school for my degree, had like no money. But my goal was to always move downtown and live downtown. I'm such a city girl, and that was the ultimate goal for me, specifically living in Yaletown, and I loved Homer Street, which is where I live now. I was also going to a lot of events downtown, so I was constantly taking the C-Bus back and forth around school, around work, and my whole life was downtown. So when I finally graduated and had enough monthly income to make the move to downtown, I took it immediately, and we found this beautiful place on Homer Street where we are now, and this has been our home for the last 3 amazing years, which I'm really grateful for. And then the pandemic hit about 2 years ago, so in those 2 years, obviously I haven't been going to events as much, and I've become a lot more open to the idea of moving outside the city. We've always wanted to buy a home, and we are putting in an offer tonight. At 7 o'clock. That's when the offers are presented. It's so weird. The offers get presented. No, the offers are due at 7. And then the realtor will probably present them at 7:30. And then we might even hear back same day with what ends up happening. So our realtor is currently getting everything ready. So that's what's happening right now. So wish us luck. Christian!
Yeah.
Come here.
That was my next question. Are you guys together? Okay, hello. They just want the option to sleep on it.
Oh. And you mean if they even want to sell, or who to sell it to?
Who to sell it to? And I asked her again, I'm like, so you have one offer in hand? She said yes. She says that she's likely getting 3 more, and then of course at the last minute sometimes people just submit that haven't talked to her at all. So I do think, I mean, with all the work that needs to be done, I still think you guys are, you know, offering a good price, and they just don't even want to come back, then that it is what it is.
It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, sounds good.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Corinne.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. I think we're gonna get it. So it's the next morning and I don't have good news. So we put a bid in at that place last night. I think it was 7 o'clock was when the bids were due. And then their agent showed them the bids and they wanted to sleep on it. So they did, which was fine. We agreed to extend it. And then this morning we heard back and we lost the offer. And I'm gonna tell you what happened because this is our journey to becoming homeowners, and we're going through all of this for the first time. We're learning all of this for the first time. And if you are gonna be buying a place anytime soon, I wanna tell you what we're learning as we learn it. We did not go for the full amount that she wanted us to go over, which was fine. It's her job to recommend the price that's gonna get us the place, right? So she did her job, and we came back and we said, we don't wanna bid that much over. We're only gonna bid like this much over, less, but still over. And we had a couple subjects in place, which let's talk about subjects. Subjects are basically things put in place to protect you as the buyer. So if you're selling a home, you might say subject to my home selling, so I can take that money and put it into this place. Or subject to financing, to make sure the bank will finance the home, or I can get the money I need from the bank to pay for the home. Or is subject to really common things like inspection, to make sure there's not a crazy mold problem or a burst pipe or something that you can't see when you're walking through the unit. Knowing all of that, we ended up losing the place to someone who bid a much larger amount than our realtor even recommended we bid over. So they bid about almost double that, and they bid no subjects. So they said, we will take 100% of the risk and we'll give you more money to do it. We were really sure we were gonna get it, and then we didn't get it. We're back, and we have some units to go see. There's a couple that we lined up. It's been less than a week since we lost that bid. We have 3 that we're going to see today. 2 were more that I was leaning towards, and then 1 was one that Christian wanted to go see. Like, we're not 100% on any of them, so we're kind of, you know, weighing the odds of whether we should go or not. But we are still in this phase of, we've only seen what, 3 units? We've only seen 3 units like ever, period. And we do want to get more exposure to more units so that we kind of know what we like, what we don't like. So the first one, I'm not planning on bringing my camera either, so I think I might do a voiceover for this next part. I'm just gonna take some clips. The first unit is one that has a view that I really like. The dining room area is kind of odd, but this one is definitely more of like a neutral. It's like a 5 out of 5 for me. Now the second one is ultra modern, and it's got these really big windows. The view is incredible, but it is tucked away into a little bit of a suburbia neighborhood. And then the last one is one that I was a little bit surprised by. Christian picked it. The view is of your neighbors, and it looks quite dark given how low it is. I think it's on like the 3rd floor. Yeah, we didn't put a single bid on any of those places. One after the other, it just didn't feel right. First place didn't feel right. Second place I was right. It was too isolated. It was a beautiful unit, but the location just wasn't it. And it was one of my deal breakers. Like, we make these lists for a reason, and then we're like, maybe I'll like it. And then I go, and it is exactly why I made the deal breaker in the first place of location. Like, it has to be central. I can't do isolated neighborhoods. And that's exactly what it was. And that is exactly why we didn't put a bid on it. Like, what was I trying to do? Outsmart myself? Like, it was never gonna work. The third place, I think the picture spoke for itself. It was never gonna happen. And I am recording this all now because we're about to go see another unit tonight that we booked in. It's just the one unit, but that's honestly because I think you'll understand when you see. Hopefully I can get some footage, but it's supposed to have this really incredible view from the balcony, and so we are making the trip out against our normal rules to go see this one unit. So I hope it's a good one. Our realtor is so smart. She specifically requested a sunset viewing because look at this. She knows me. I'm already sold. And a mirror over the fireplace. It's like they knew I was coming. As you can tell from the kitchen, the unit hasn't been updated in a really long time. You know, here's the bathroom. And this is when we started to find the storage pockets. This is the first one that we found. This is the second one that we found, and it doesn't end here. There's one more. This room, randomly 9 feet long and massive. For who? For what? I don't care. It's great. And this loft would, of course, be my working space. Okay, bye. Okay, that unit. We like it. And I think there's a lot of potential. We talked about the bones, and they're really good. Again, the place hasn't been updated in like 30 years, but listen, at this point, literally everything in our price range is gonna be a reno project. Like, we're not looking at anything that's brand new. And at the same time, we don't want to, because anything that's brand new is also gonna be a lot smaller. And then if we want something bigger, it comes with a really big markup. So we kind of settled on the fact that it's gonna be a reno. Because on one hand, I was trying to look at the market and I'm like, okay, is there a way we could possibly not get a reno? Because renos are notoriously stressful and I don't really know if I want that for my first home. But then as time goes on, and it's like every single place that we look at has to have some form of updating done. I have come to accept that it's just gonna happen. So we're looking at this place and it's like, okay, the bones are there, the space is there, the view is there. All of these things you can't reno into a place, so you might as well look for a place that has those things and then just fix the inside over time or something. So we really like that place. And the only thing I will say that I didn't like about the building is that when you drive up to it, the entrance isn't on the street. You have to go kind of around and enter from the back, which was a bit weird. And I just imagine for the amount of mail that I get, that could potentially be an issue. But so anyways, we let Corinne know that we want to put in an offer. So she's currently doing her thing, and she's gonna let us know what she thinks would be a competitive offer, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, there's no offer gonna be happening. So let me tell you a funny story. First of all, we looked at their strata documents, and they owe their own contingency fund a lot of money. And Corinne was saying that in her history of being a realtor, she's never seen a strata be like negative money in their contingency fund, and that was a huge red flag. And the second thing that happened is that our mortgage broker, I'm like laughing because I cannot believe this. Our mortgage broker showed the unit to 3 different banks to look into getting it financed. Not a single bank will touch this place. Apparently, because there's like no money in the contingency fund, it's about to go under major renovation to get the deck replaced. And apparently there's a lot of other things that need to be updated as well. There might have been a couple other reasons, but those were the 2 main ones. All the banks said no. We literally cannot put a bid on this place unless we're paying cash. We do not have that much in cash, obviously, so okay, I guess we're not getting this unit, and I guess it just wasn't meant to be. Hello again. For you, it's been a second. For me, it's been a couple weeks. We're in March right now, and I think the last time we talked, it was like middle of Feb, so it's been like 3 weeks. Anyway, a little bit has changed in the financial arena, which has kind of changed our plans a little bit, because we went into this thinking we were going to have all the time in the world to shop around for the perfect unit, and now there is some discussion of raising interest rates, which doesn't sound like that big of a deal when you're talking about 20% here, 0.5% there, but when you're applying it to a lot of money, all of a sudden it is a very big impact on things like mortgage payments. Now we're feeling a little bit stressed because we don't know when they're going to raise it, the cadence that they're going to raise it, and all that. So now we are in a timeline where we would like to find a place sooner rather than later. So she's actually sent over a couple units that I saw online. It's funny because she keeps an eye out and we keep an eye out. And a lot of the time we'll see the same units. She will send us units that I've already seen and we just tell her we're not interested. And this time she sent me and Christian a unit that we had already seen and weren't super interested in, but she kind of convinced us to go check it out. And we're not totally pumped on it from the photos. So we're gonna go check those out. And it's actually 2 units in the same building. There's one below that's not renovated, and then there's one above that is renovated. So we're gonna go have a look at those tonight and see what they look like. I don't know, it kind of feels like a repeat of before when we were going to see those units that we weren't 100% sold on and then just ended up placing no bids. So on one hand, I think if the market was a bit different and the interest rates weren't about to go up, I might just pass, but just considering everything right now, I think we might just go check it out just to see.
Let me just call Jonathan because I need to confirm with him that that's gonna be okay.
And maybe they come down, allegedly. Maybe.
Is that Jessica doing that?
That's me with my hand just kind of trying to make its way in.
These are not my fingers, Corinne. Please.
You're right. That's much better.
Please.
Hey, did you get your nails done today?
Yeah.
They look so cute. I like that.
You see this one?
Yeah. Is it daisies?
Yeah.
So cute. It sounds like we're in. We just need to change a few little things here. But okay. All right. I will give you guys a call back. Okay.
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 Wait.
Wow. Okay, so to recap, we put an offer on a place that we went to go see yesterday. We liked it so much. It's huge. The views are really nice. We fell in love with it. It's stunning.
You gotta get one. You wanna do it in the car?
Sure. First, we had to get Mars approved, and he had to be approved by the Strata because he is like 2 or 3 inches over their height restriction. He got approved this morning, so once he got approved, we put in the offer. They came back with a counter. We just agreed at that counter, and we're about to send the offer in. We wrote a letter. They really liked our letter, and now we're just like, we basically accepted their counter. So like, this is happening, and it's really exciting. Like, hey! I guess someone could swoop in at the last second with some crazy subject-free offer, but it doesn't sound like it. She's texting me right now. Okay, we're going to get dinner at Grandma's, so I will update you. Cross your fingers for us.
Your thoughts?
We have a house. We just got to the inspection. We're about to sit down. So this is a bunch of stuff that we can start moving. Mars is a little bit nervous.